Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Commander-Wulf, and we are back to playing the Game of Thrones. If I remember correctly, we left up where we swore our allegiance to the Queen, and we are now going to be in competition with Valar. It's Valar again, what the fuck?
Alistair, what are you doing here? You were supposed to rot in the dungeons.
That is indeed what I feared, but the light of R'hllor guided my steps out.
Sir Valar, the Queen awaits your presence.
We shall meet again, Alistair.
No doubt, you freak. Fucking freak.
Sooner than you think.
We gonna be working together. Oh, Morse. I love Morse. Your hunt for Paddy resulted in his death. Upon your return to Castle Black, you find a delegation of ambassadors from Jon Arryn, the King's Hand, waiting for you. 15 years upon since you fought by his side during Robert Baratheon's rebellion, although you thought you'd left your past behind, you have seen Sir Godric Donner, his censor on the Gondor, one of his most devoted knights. You request your assistance in an important mission. A young woman who we wish to protect appears to be in grave danger. You must track her down and take her to a safe location. Yes. Let us continue on this quest for Jon Arryn, the King's Hand, who is, a spoiler, soon going to die. No, he is actually dead, so you know it was not no spoiler anyway. Because if you have seen my previous episode, then you know he's already dead. Which makes this mission even more.
So, just like that, Jon Arryn was dead.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's true. The royal seal in the missive was still unbroken when the Raven arrived.
That would mean that he passed shortly after I left King's Landing. I will pray to the Seven that his soul receives the welcome it deserves. He was a great man.
In his letter, he mentioned being wary of those around him. He feared for his life and talked about enemies of the realm who were preparing to strike. A troubling coincidence. I'll wager it has something to do with the girl.
Who knows? In any case, he must have thought her very important.
Do you still hope to carry out your mission, Sir Donnelly?
Yes, I shall not betray my lord's last wish. I must finish carrying out his orders and find a safe place for the girl. Now that we have an idea of where she is, there is no need to trouble you any longer.
You underestimate the Molestown tunnels. They're quite a labyrinth for newcomers. You'll need my expertise.
I would also prefer one of us to accompany you. I'd rather know what's going on in the gift.
Very well. I have a host of men waiting south of Castle Black on the way towards Molestown. I hope to meet with them and gather any news before proceeding. Jared, my lieutenant, will have warned my men of our arrival.
I'm counting on you, Mors. Report to me when you've finished your mission.
We'll leave immediately. I just need to make sure of one last thing.
As you wish, sir.
Theomar! Dick! Lion! I shall accompany Sir Donnelly to Molestown. His camp is close by. I am counting on you to get there as soon as possible. You must ensure that peace is maintained in the gift.
Very well, Mors.
Let us ride, sir. It's a long way to Molestown.
I'm right behind you.
I am right behind you. Where do I have that from? Just going to options. Take the voice volume.
Hold your fire!
Little better. Alright then, let's continue on. I have two quests, it seems. One who goes this way and one who goes that way. What is this about? Oh, that's just me. Where I can sell my stuff. Oh, you there? Let me sell you my shit. Confirm. 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 My shit is 23. Well, there's a lot of things to sell. But that's just how life is nowadays. You have to sell some shit, but I have no idea how to sell things fast. Which really sucks, but hey, that's how it goes. That's 80 for none of these, alright. Alright. Don't have a lot of money, but you know, a little is better than nothing, as they say. 60, 63, 60. Gonna have to check this out later. Excuse me, I wanted both. Alright. That's gotta be cold for you, Morse. Let's get some. There we go. What is your stuff anyway cost? It's like gold, for fuck's sake. What the hell is wrong with you? 9 gold. Can I just... Oh, that's two-handed. Screw that. God damn it. I really want it. I really want it. I really want it. Ah! Alright. Let's just see what the fuck is up over here. Where's my... Oh, Morse. I don't remember how to see my quests, which is really annoying. There we go. No, actually not. Oh wait, I have some stuff I can get. Strength, agility, endurance, health, bargain chance. No bargain chance. No, I don't care about that. Luck, bonus. Flashing speed, your fast speed increases your. Just what? Did an opponent use a repetition? No, I don't need that. You show off your true potential when you surround all members. You defend better when odds are stacked against you. Fine, I'll take these two. But whatever. Skin changer, takedown. Or you don't jump or force nothing down to the ground. You have greater control when it's skin. Your sword succumbs to. Swords and heavy armor. Well, I'm going to see what this is up in here. But what the fuck is down there? Is there no way? Is there how the fuck do I see my quests again? Fate of our ancestors. You'll find another statue. Take it to. Oh, it's probably the statue thing, right? Yeah, I'm going to say screw that, and I'm just going to go this way because this is the way I have to go. Alright then, we are now going to Mole's Town. Oh, that's my dog. My dog. Beautiful dog. Anyways, I'm a skin changer, which is awesome. Mole's Town, here I come! Ooh, Eastwards by the sea. Nah. Mole's Town. What? Mole's Town. Oh, there, Mole's Town. Mole's Town. I like the name Mole's Town. It's very inviting. It says you really want to live in that town of moles. Yes. Yes. Remember to allocate a point to your character sheet when you level up. Yeah, just remembered. Thank you for reminding me. Find
John Arryn, dead. I still can't believe it. That sly old fox was tougher than Valerian steel.
Yes, it's unfortunate news, but I won't let it interfere with the mission he assigned me. I think we're close. My men would have set up camp in the area.
Oh look, it's your man.
You mean she had...
It's my man or your man.
Sir Donnelly, did everything go well in Castle Black?
All is well. As we had hoped, the Night's Watch is here to help us. I gave Sir Westford the missive I have here. He knows where to find the girl. What's going on here? Let me hear your report.
We were able to position some men here and scout the area. The region seems safe.
We're in Night's Watch territory. The lands are obviously well protected.
Of course, my lord. Jared passed this way. He took some men with him to scout the village south of here.
I never promised such a thing. Jared forgets who gives the orders here. I'll make sure to remind him in due time. We'll continue our journey, Sir Westford. Let's go towards Mole's Town, where we'll probably find Jared. Robot, stay in your position and await my return.
As you wish, sir.
It must be cold to just stay here. I mean, this no.
The old dog.
Oh, it was more than a man could ever wish for. When she finished taking my coals,
I don't need to listen to this. Suddenly I need to flag my videos for inappropriate speech or vulgar language. I don't know. I don't know. Map. I feel like I'm going the wrong way here. Oh, there was a house here at one time. At one time or another. Yeah, I know Sir Donnelly, but there's a little... You can get lost in these woods. Do not think I am... I'm not above making mistakes in my pathfinding. Aha, there we go. Now we're on the right track. And look at that, a light, a lamp, a light. What other one? Do I have anything new? No. Oh, well, yeah, you motherfucker.
You know something. Spill it before I scatter your teeth onto the floor.
Please, I beg you. I don't know what you're talking about. I swear. I'm but a simple traveling merchant.
Enough, Jared.
What? Oh. It's you, Sir Godric. This peasant refuses to answer my questions.
Leave him alone.
You can leave.
Very well, my lord. Thank you.
I haven't finished with him.
Yes, you have. No one tortures the people of the gift without good reason.
And you'll do what? Hang me, like you did my brother? Try it. I could use a laugh.
This fool has no idea who he's fucking talking to.
Hold your tongue. Believe me, if I felt like killing you, I wouldn't have need of a noose.
No one talks to me this way, especially not a crow from that damned wall.
Shut your mouth, Jared. You disgrace us when you speak to Sir Westford that way. But silence! Return to camp and await me there.
Screw you,
Sir
Jared.
Westford, his behavior is unacceptable. I offer my most humble apologies.
Just make sure he doesn't delay us.
I'll keep an eye on him. How do you plan on finding the girl?
John Arryn's letter mentions the whores at the brothel. We'll start there.
Do you think they'll talk?
The Night's Watch is in charge around here. I've had a few dealings with the local madam before, when sworn brothers found their way to her establishment. If she knows something, I'll soon find out.
Oh, yes.
The hamlet seems tiny. We'll have gone through it in no time.
Don't let yourself be fooled. The Mole's Town is much bigger than it seems. More than 3/4 of the town is underground. The underground tunnels were dug by several generations of people. Living below the surface protects them from the cold. And in the midst of the tunnels is the whorehouse. I'm sure that's where we'll find the girl. This much was clear in the letter.
I see. So she's hidden among the whores. Few would think to look for her there. Lord John Arryn certainly was a diligent man.
Indeed. Hide your women with the whores. I mean, what could go wrong? Ah, tunnel to Molestown. This should be interesting. Don't remember this place at all, actually. I suppose it didn't have much effect on me, as it should have, but who knows. We'll just see how it goes from a standpoint of now and never. If that makes any sense. It doesn't actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling right now to have something to talk about. Ah, the brothel is in the heart of the town. Take Godric on there to find a young woman he's looking for.
If you want to play castle with me?
Let's talk, woman.
Well, well. If it isn't the great Mors Westford, hero of Castle Black, what can I do for you, handsome? Why don't you join me in my chamber, and I'll show you what a real woman can do.
The day the wall collapses, I'll think about your proposition.
Charming as usual. So, what are you here for? Come to take your lost crows home? Walder brought in a new boy. I believe his name is Patrick. They're in the back. Do with them what you will. But no brawling in my establishment.
No, I'm not here for pleasure. I'm looking for a girl.
Then you're here for the same reason as everyone else. What is your pleasure? Fair hair? Brown hair? Dancers? A girl skilled with her tongue?
No use beating around the bush.
I'm looking for a recent arrival. Not a whore. Just a girl from the south.
A girl from the south? I do strive to provide something for every taste here. But girls from the south. Now, why don't you try Alice and Berina? They're twins. Our clients love them. And since you're a first-time customer, I'll give you a discount. What do you say?
Enough horse shit, Sybil. I know the girl was sent to Molestown, and I'm sure you know where she's hiding.
You're mad, Moores. If you're not here for my beer or for my girls, I must ask that you leave.
Listen to me. You need to realize that this girl is in danger.
Listen, Sybil. This girl is in considerable danger. I believe that the men chasing her may have been involved in the death of the King's Hand.
The King's Hand was assassinated? Moores, you must be joking.
When have you ever known me to be joking? If these people were powerful enough to assassinate the King's Hand, it won't be difficult for them to track her here.
Well, what would you do if you found her?
The King's Hand wanted this girl protected. I'm here to make sure that happens. I'm sure I can protect her better than you and your girls can.
Very well. I know that you're a man of honor. I hope I don't regret this decision. The girl's name is Jane Greystone. She's been hiding here for some time.
I thank you for your trust, Sybil. Now, where is the girl?
She's in one of my rooms. Downstairs. Go down the stairs, turn left. It's the last door on the right. But don't you dare hurt her.
Don't worry. I'm here to protect her. Thank you for your help.
Oh, that would be scary. Let's see, I'm gonna find my lost brothers. Those goddamn. Ooh. Oh, you love me.
Oh, my lord, thanks for helping me earlier.
Oh, it's you.
Without you, I would have lost a few teeth back there. Come closer, you two. Take a look at our selection of wares. The mule will show them to you.
Who gave you permission to speak to me?
Oh, I beg your pardon, my lord. I did not mean to offend you.
Calm down.
I just wanted to help the Night's Watch.
Gorek is rather arrogant.
Sir Donnelly, you're in the gift territory, and not on your lands. Please remember that.
Please excuse me. I'll let you handle your men.
Listen, peddler. Some of the wildlings I confronted just recently were armed with steel blades. That seemed a bit strange, because wildlings do not forge steel, so these weapons must come from our side of the wall. And then I happen upon your traveling shop here.
I've nothing to do with that, my lord. I would never do such a thing. I have my merchant's honor to uphold.
That's right, and you do well to remember that. You can stay 1 or 2 more days to sell the locals what they need. Nothing more. When you're finished, go back to the south. If I hear that you've strayed further north, or have overstayed your welcome, I'll find you.
Yes, my lord. I swear. I'll leave as soon as I'm done.
You better fucking believe it. Let's see what the fuck you have. Ooh, 1 gold. What the hell? What is this bullshit? It's all so fucking much. Do I actually have any? No, I don't. So I better get some. This project. No. Yes, okay, then I have that. Alright, let's see what the other talkatives here can... Whoa, cook! What's cooking?
Out of my kitchen. I've enough troubles without having to clean up after the likes of you.
Well, he didn't like me very much, but that's okay, I understand. Patrick, what the fuck are you doing here?
Hi, it's Moores. I wasn't expecting to meet you here.
Would you shut up?
Patrick, digging for buried treasure again, I see.
You've taken your vows so recently. Your words still hang in the air, Patrick.
Please, Moores. You know the Lord Commander turns a blind eye to this sort of thing. Just look at the poor bugger. All of your fellow watchmen are dead. You know how it is. He needs to pick up his spirits.
I can speak for myself, Walder. Moores, would you care to join in our discussion?
It's not a opportunity to talk to Patrick.
I don't know much about you, Patrick. I hear you used to be into smuggling.
I don't really want to talk about that, Moores.
Don't be shy, you're amongst brothers here. You've probably seen plenty of interesting things in your life.
Look at my head
Tell us.
and ears.
First of all, I was not a smuggler.
So why stay with the wall?
Weren't your crimes what led you to take the black?
Very well. If you really want to know, like half the men at the wall, I was once a farmer, with fertile lands and a family. Then one day, I lost everything. I was out hunting for stag, and when I returned home, there was nothing but smouldering ruins left. The wildlings were raiding along the coast, and it led them right to my home. My wife, she wasn't the type to let herself be pushed around by anyone. If you saw what they did to her...
7 hells. Every last one of those wildling monsters deserves to die.
All I had left was my warhammer. I'd found it while marching with the Starks during the rebellion. All I could do was take my boat and follow the scum across the Bay of Seals. Once I got to the other side of the wall, it was easier than I'd expected. They probably thought they were out of harm's way, and they were careless. They didn't even try to cover their tracks. When I finally caught up with them, it was dark out. The swine were getting drunk on what they'd stolen from me. So I waited for my moment. After a while, most of them could no longer stand. And that's when I went for them. First, I killed the watchman. But then one of their men saw me and cried out. It became a bloodbath. The drink had made them slow of foot and awkward. It made it easy for me. I don't know how long the killing lasted. When it was over, I was covered in blood, wounds, my clothes slashed to shreds. I said to myself, Pat, you're a dead man. Might as well let the cold take you. I let myself drift off. When I opened my eyes, I was in Castle Black. I had been picked up by rangers who'd discovered the camp. It took me a month to heal. In that time, I was accused of everything by the brothers of the Night's Watch. Smuggling, being a wildling, and I just couldn't convince otherwise. So, as soon as I was able to walk again, I was given the choice. Take the black, or the noose.
You suffered an injustice, but you had the right of it to join us, brother. You have a new family now.
Incredible. I didn't know a killer like you was one of our recruits.
What about you, Walder? How did you get to the wall?
Let me think about it for a minute. Where to begin?
I think I know what you want to talk about.
Say nothing, Moors. You'll spoil the surprise. You see my necklace, Patrick? The High Septon gave it to me personally.
The High Septon? The head of the Faith of the Seven? You must be joking.
I swear it's true.
Yes, another sad tale.
He's right, but I'm not sure you really want to hear the story.
On the contrary, I would like to hear it.
Very well. I had a simple, humble, and poor life, like you, Patrick. Much like any other peasant in the Seven Kingdoms, you might say. I had a wife, Shori. She was delicate and buxom, always smiling, a good woman. Never complained without good reason. She was devoted to the Seven and always ready to aid her neighbor. The best day in my life was the day she agreed to marry me. But all good things come to an end. She fell ill while with child. I sold everything to pay for her treatment. My livestock, my fields, and even my home. All that, only to be sold false remedies by swindlers preying on my love. When I finally figured out what they were doing, I pounced on 2 of the filthy whoresons and gave them what they deserved. I beat them bloody and took my time over it, too.
He took justice into his own hands.
You chose your destiny, as we did ours.
I wasn't expecting that from you, Walder. I'd mistaken you for a skilled thief.
It would have been better if I was. I probably wouldn't be here now. I spent 20 years of my life protecting this piece of ice. And unlike you, if I had to do it all again, I wouldn't.
So that's when they caught you?
No, let me finish. Shuri held out until the end of her pregnancy, so that the child could survive. She suffered more than I imagined possible. The day she went into labor, I was alone with her. Giving birth to our daughter was too much strain. It killed her. I buried her that same evening. I wanted a better life for my little girl, a different life. I swore by the Seven that she wouldn't end up like her mother, that she would only have the best. The following day, I left home carrying what was left of my possessions on my back. to baptize my little girl into the faith. I walked for more than 3 weeks, feeding my little girl as I could, and praying each day that she would survive. I eventually reached King's Landing. I knelt before the wondrous gold and crystal dome of the Great Sept. Once inside, an old Septon welcomed me. I told him my story. I confessed everything. He listened attentively. I cried on his shoulder, and he comforted me with soothing words. Afterwards, he took my daughter in for observation. He asked a servant to bring him some goat's milk, and that's when I understood. That old man wasn't just a Septon. He was the High Septon himself.
Really?
Yes. He said if I handed myself in to the king's justice, they would take care of my daughter. He would personally ensure that she'd have a good life.
Aww.
You gave yourself up? Just like that?
That's right. I gave them my little girl and handed myself over to the king's justice. When they brought me in, the High Septon personally gave me this necklace. For me, it represents my absolution.
Quite a story.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yours wasn't too bad either.
Each and every sworn brother has his tale to tell, and none of them are enviable.
What about you, Moors? Why did you come to the wall?
I can't talk now, Patrick. I have affairs to attend to. I must go. I'll turn a blind eye this time. But don't linger here too much longer.
We'll have another round and then we're off, I promise.
That's funny.